Nintendo put out the Switch 8 years ago, and 8 years ago, Nintendo was a completely different company. You see, they were struggling with the Wii U. The Wii U never did what it needed to do for Nintendo, so they were really banking on the Switch to be a massive hit, and realistically, it was always going to be. It was a portable console, but the console would fail if it wasn't supported by amazingly strong video games. That's actually what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the hills that made the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo had an uphill battle coming up. They had to sell well, or they probably weren't looking good. The 3DS didn't launch well. It ended up being a pretty solid console. The Wii U definitely didn't sell well. Nintendo needed to have a sort of renaissance, a rebirth, if they will. They needed to cross a hill and get to the other side. And they launched the Nintendo Switch with one of the perfect games of all time, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And it actually opens up with Link running up to a hill, just looking out into a vast, broken Hyrule, something that we've never seen before, a world that we can literally go anywhere we want to go to and explore. This hill marked a rebirth of the entire Zelda franchise. Formula was drastically changed. No more did you have to go to point A and get an object, and that object is used to kill the boss. But don't get too attached to that object because you're never going to use it again, because the new boss, new item, new dungeon. We only have fun in one dungeon per item, okay? And then no mas. But in Breath of the Wild, you can literally use anything that you can pick up. Ooh, a fun little boomerang. Use that boomerang, bucko. Oh, an arm. Yeah, beat that guy with his own arm. Instead of getting new items, you got powers at the very beginning of the game. The whole game was given to you, and it's like, hey, here are these powers. Go experience the world. Do whatever you want. All these powers are amazing, and I give them 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. Boom! Costco guys, please collab. And then you get a camera. Hell yeah. You can take a picture of anything, you nasty little freak. These were powers that Link never really had full unlimited access to in any Zelda game. So giving us these tools and allowing us to move and manipulate the world in this way was something unheard of in a Zelda game, and it opened everything up, and not just opened everything up power-wise, but the whole damn world is open world. Meaning the minute you step on that hill, the whole entire game opens up to you. It's like 5 minutes into the game. If you saw anything, you could go to it. You could either run to it, you could climb to it, you could steal a horse and ride to it, you could get on a tree and rocket yourself over to the end boss and just go fight Ganon with 3 hearts. And because that's what speedrunners do. Why don't you do that? Why aren't you saving the girl? Not very feminist of you. But if you see something that you want to go do, you can go do it. If you see something that's a little interesting, like a little guy in the corner, and you're like, that little guy shouldn't be there, and you go talk to him, and then all of a sudden it's a guy trying to mug you, that's the game. That's part of it. We've already gotten a 3D Zelda after Breath of the Wild. We got Tears of the Kingdom, a sequel to the Breath of the Wild. We've gotten Zelda sequels before, but to see Zelda once again go into this open world, non-linear storytelling moment and not go back to its traditional roots kind of shows everyone that this is just how Zelda plays now. We don't really need to go back to the original Zelda format, and I think that might be a good thing. Zelda actually also completely changed how they do their 2D games. Echoes of Wisdom has the Breath of the Wild shot as well. And that game's crazy because you're not even playing as Link in that game. You're playing as Zelda with a magic staff and Link's sword. Nintendo saw what this hill did for Zelda, with seeing what Zelda was and then throwing it all out the window and then getting over that massive hill that they built for themselves and creating something new and magical. They decided to do that for the other franchises that have gotten a little bit stale with Nintendo. All these games have in common a character running up to a hill, looking off into the world, a new world, and experiencing an adventure that they had never experienced before. And they did it first with my boy, Super Mario. Yahoo! Whippy! Yeah! Yahoo! I live in a world of cringe, and I'm just bathed in it, and now I'm just bathing you guys in it by making these videos. I'm so sorry. You see, well, I love Mario 64 because I love the world and the themings that they do in that game. But it sucks because every time you get a star, you're thrown out and you're spit right back out into Peach's castle. The thing that makes Mario Odyssey so great, there are so many little challenges that you might not know about. There are some obvious moons that, like, right there, it's like literally just sitting there, just go touch it. What are you doing, you little silly little guy? Go nab that little moon, be a new moon grabber and have it for yourself. But there are so many secret moons, and when you get one, you're not stopped from gameplay, but you're just thrown right back into the gameplay immediately. So if you get a moon and you're falling to your death, you'll die. So allowing Mario to get the moon and then still jump around, fly around, stomp around, it was freeing, and it made the world really, really fun. And also, being able to capture things, you could be so many things in this game. You could be a Goomba. You could be a Chain Chomp. You could be a man driving an RC car. I wish that was me. I've always wanted an RC car. In my last video, I talked about Pokemon a lot, and I'm going to talk about Pokemon again because they also listened to The Hill. And I think they most directly copied the shot bar for bar from Breath of the Wild. They took that shot and they were like, okay, volcano, check. Hill, check. Character zoomed out on, check. Okay, boys, we nailed it. That's the video game. But Pokemon Legends Arceus really did get over the hill of what Pokemon is supposed to be. No more is it just walk around tall grass. Oh, a wild battle. No more movement. They really went wild with it. I would have called Pokemon of the Wilds. Because you are really just a 10-year-old child in a world that doesn't trust Pokemon. You're the only one that trusts Pokemon. And they just throw you to the wolves. They're like, okay, you go out there and you deal with the monsters for us because we don't want to do it. And you're just kind of running around chucking balls at everything, completely destroying what the Pokemon gameplay loop was. In this game, you had to go find Pokemon, research them, learn about them, explore, find a giant, shining, evil Pokemon that's just pissed off, and then calm it the hell down. The very first boss in Pokemon Legends Arceus has battle axes for hands. And he comes spitting at you with freaking battle axes. And it's at that moment where I realized, oh, my character will die if I'm not smart. So obviously I died like the first 5 times whenever I fought him. You're respawned and it's like, oh, you're okay. Like, we took you to the hospital. But what Pokemon game has ever put you in the hospital before? None of them. Not to mention, Pokemon Legends did kind of copy. They copied all the movement options in Breath of the Wild, but it's done in such a fun, unique way where you can explore all the environments in Legends Arceus and find new guys because you have new things to fly on, swim on, or climb on. It just completely changed the way Pokemon was done. And it's something I appreciate. Our pink little puffball actually had 2 Breath of the Wild moments on the Switch, and this one's awesome. This one I think is really, really cool because it's Smash Ultimate. Smash Ultimate is the best game on the Switch, and it, for me, redefined everything for Smash Brothers. I understand that there are Melee purists in the world that only live and breathe Melee, and they refuse to engage and indulge in Ultimate content, but that's fine. Because I think Smash Ultimate took everything that Smash was and jammed it into one game and created a beautiful synergy. They broke it with Minecraft Steve. But right at the beginning of World of Light, Kirby is the only character that survives this giant annihilation of all the Nintendo characters and turns them all into statues. Kirby's staring off into a war-torn Smash world, and he knows he has to go on a massive adventure to save all of his friends. Sakurai really found a way to make an adventure mode really, really fun and really special. He included all these spirits, which made fighters fight like the spirit that they were. But I'm just saying the spirits were a way to bring more characters into the game than the playable ones that were already there. And And I just think they really nailed it. I think they did the DLC really well. I think it rebirthed the way Nintendo looked at fighting games. They were doing Smash Ultimate tournaments pretty regularly. We didn't because of some silly nonsense. We stopped that. But, you know, they started to look at the Smash community. The last game I want to talk about is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Kirby for a long time has been locked in the 2D sphere. I remember when I was a kid, one of my favorite games growing up was Kirby Air Ride. I didn't play any other mode other than the city trial. Running around in a 3D Kirby world was so much fun, and I always wanted a 3D Kirby. A 3D open world Kirby, and I kind of got that with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Man, that game is so expansive and expressive. The colors are great, and you get to move in a three-dimensional plane, and, well, it's not on a hill. Kirby's on a beach and looking at the land. There is a zoom out, and it like is Kirby looking at this new expressive world, unaware that he's gonna be eating half of a car or eating a light bulb, and it just looks like he's inhaled a butt plug. But that game alone changes Kirby completely. Going from 2D to 3D inherently just makes games intrinsically different, and it works so well for Kirby, and you'd be surprised that it's Kirby's first main adventure in the 3D sphere. Why am I talking about this? Why does these hills matter and the rebirth of Nintendo kind of matter? It's because of the Switch 2. I'm talking about these hills because I want to see a rebirth from Nintendo. I think the Switch was a rebirth from Nintendo in many ways. It helped evolve from the Wii U. It showed Nintendo that it's okay. You can reinvent yourself. You can change the way things are done. They changed the world with the Switch. I mean, look at how they influenced the PC world. Not even the PC world, the gaming world now. Now, because of the Switch, we have the Steam Deck. We have the Asus ROG Ally, the Lenovo Legion Go Pro Extravaganza. We have the Sony Q or Portable or Portal or whatever the hell it's called. We have so many handheld crap now with a screen on it because of the Nintendo Switch. And they've not sold nearly as well or as comparable to the Switch. But because of the Switch, these things exist. Because people were like, whoa, I want to take my home console games on the go. Something that only the Switch, I would say, does really, really well, where the battery doesn't only last like an hour if you play a game. I saw this tweet from Nintendo Prime, at Ninty Prime on Twitter. Saw IGN ask a question on if lightning can strike twice with the Switch 2. In my honest opinion, the Switch itself was not a lightning in a bottle moment like the Wii and the DS. Instead, it was a logical evolution of what Nintendo has been doing for decades. Hence why I feel it has the staying power for several generations the same way PlayStation does. It's not lightning. Instead, it is the bottle. A logical, practical concept that has no real end to how useful it is. And I agree with that. But I still am worried. Because while all these renaissances for games were really good, all these rebirths, and they were born into big, beautiful butterflies, they could have become a moth. They could have been attracted to a little fire, a little accent of flame, and flocked to it and just nibbled up all the money. And they could have only become money focused. And I think that's bad because video games are art. And if we only focus on money for art, we're losing important art because it becomes about profit and becomes less about the art. My whole point of this is I hope Ninty Prime is right. I hope it is a bottle moment, and I hope the Switch isn't a lightning. But to be quite honest, Nintendo has kind of proven to us that they are kind of just lightning. We've had the Wii, and then their next console was the Wii U, and it failed. We had the DS. That was lightning. That moment was fire. And then we got the 3DS, and it was so bad, Satoru Iwata had to cut his own paycheck to make sure no one lost their jobs, which is a W boss moment, to be quite honest. I'm just saying Nintendo has a track record of being lightning and not the bottle. And I just really hope that we're the bottle this time. With all these rebirths of games, I'm really excited for the Switch 2. On April 2nd, they're actually having a direct for just the Switch 2, and I'm going to be live on my Twitch channel. I'm doing a subathon right now, so twitch.tv/Scootish. You should definitely come watch it with us, and I'll definitely post a breakdown video as well, because I want to see if Nintendo is going to be able to catch the lightning in the bottle. I'm going to see if they're the bottle, or I'm going to see if they're the lightning. I think we'll be able to tell off of the first Direct. I really do. I really hope that the Switch was Nintendo's hill, and this was the rebirth of Nintendo. Thank you for watching. My name is Scootish. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.